What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? A little bit of NBA 2K in this one. ISBA Online Association. This is the second user versus user game that I've played. You notice how in NBA 2K, no matter how bad or how good you are playing, there's always a run. And when you're playing 2K, it's stupid to ever give up on the game, regardless of how badly you're playing, because you're going to make a run at some point. You're going to make a run. 2K just has this hardwired code in it that will allow you to make a run in the game. And you're going to see how this game plays out. But anyway, having a lot of fun playing this game in Online Association. Haven't played any online ranked games. I don't think I will play too many online ranked games with 2K because why bother? But anyway, I wanted to talk about the NBA and how NY Kia would fix the NBA. We have the NBA lockout going on right now. And in many ways, in my opinion, the NBA is a broken league that needs to be fixed. Its model no longer is as viable or as effective as it was back in its glory days. In my opinion, the peak of the NBA in my lifetime was, I would say, between 1988 and 1998, maybe touching into 2000. But the late 80s to the mid 90s were the NBA at its best as far as what I've seen in my lifetime. And the league right now has some issues. It's in its second lockout in about 10 years or so, and it's got some legitimate problems. The first thing that I would do if I was in charge of the NBA, and this is the biggie that the owners are going after as well, is they want to kill the guaranteed contract. And I agree. I think the guaranteed contract has been a slow but gradual poison pill for the NBA. And for a couple of reasons. The NBA is fine when guys like, Kobe Bryant, LeBron, Dirk, D-Wade, no one has a problem with those guys making $120 million. The problem with the NBA is that you have B-list and sometimes C-list players making $100 million. Like guys like Antoine Walker. You guys remember Antoine Walker? He made something like $112 million. And of course he pissed it away gambling. But, you just can't have that in a league. It's okay for your stars to make that kind of money, but you have, guys like Joe Johnson, for example. Joe Johnson's a nice player. He's a good player. He's not a franchise maker. He's not a franchise player. He can't be making $100 million. Rudy Gay can't be making $80 million. The fourth and fifth guy on your roster can't be making $50 and $60 million. You just can't support a league like that. Especially in a league where, you don't have as many players on a roster, so it inflates the average salary of the league a great deal. And the NBA, doesn't have, the kind of roster flexibility that the, NFL and Major League Baseball have, because you're dealing only with maybe like 12 to 14 guys on a roster, so you just can't stash a bad contract or eat a bad contract. There's no way out of a Gilbert Arenas, Rashard Lewis, Eddie Curry type of mistake, other than to just eat the money. Just pay out the money, hope the player goes away, and try to, trade him in his walk year. And that's not good for the league. The league can't survive like that, and it creates a situation where you have players with overinflated values. So, death of the guaranteed contract. NFL-style contracts the way to go, I think. The NFL model works the best, and I think as close as you can get to that model is better for everybody. I would also institute, like the NFL, a hard salary cap. The salary cap will have a hard ceiling and also a floor to prevent, cheap players or cheap owners, I should say, like the Clippers, from just pocketing the cash and stashing the money away. So, killing the guaranteed contract and a hard and fast salary cap would greatly improve the league. Of course, it will cause some teams to have to break up. You wouldn't be able to have a team like Pau Gasol, Kobe Bryant, and Lamar Odom, making the kind of money that they make. You'd only be able to keep maybe 2 of those guys out of the 3. But I think it'll help spread the talent around and also create a more, a healthier, financial system. The next thing I would do is I would get rid of this farce that they have when dealing with players coming into the draft. This 1 year of college before you're eligible for the draft. It doesn't make any sense. It turns college basketball into a farce. It turns going to college into a farce.
I think he was saving that one for a special occasion.
Allow kids, once they've graduated high school, to enter the draft if that's what they want to do. And if they want to go to college, fine. I think baseball has a very good system. But of course, baseball has a real, true minor league. So if you're going to allow high school players to enter the draft, rather than either having them waste a roster spot if they aren't ready to play, why not develop a real minor league? The D League is a step in the right direction, but it's only a baby step. Because if you have a kid that you draft out of high school, it's very rare he's going to be able to step in and be productive. So why not develop him and get him acclimated to be a professional, and that way you have a better chance of seeing a return on your investment, and also use that roster spot on a veteran player that can help your team. That way a guy like, let's take a high school player that has bombed out. Kwame Brown, for example. Kwame Brown is generally regarded as a bust. And it's because, through no fault of his own, he was drafted way too high. And didn't have the skill set to justify that draft status. But I think if Kwame Brown could have been, shucked off to the minor leagues for, 3 or 4 years and then come into the NBA as a more seasoned, 22-year-old, he might have had a better career. He might have been a useful role player for somebody, as opposed to just, urinating his career away. A guy like Gerald Green. You guys remember Gerald Green? He comes to mind as well. A guy that had all the physical talent in the world but didn't have a single clue as to how to play basketball. So allow kids to have a place to develop. Or if a kid gets drafted and doesn't like where he's been drafted to, or doesn't feel he's ready, allow him to go to college if he wants to do that. And if he chooses to go to college, he's in college for 3 years, and the team still keeps his rights. After the 3 years, the team will have a window to sign him, and if he decides to stay in college for a senior year, he goes back into the draft. Because why punish the kid in that scenario? So just give these guys options that will, better help them be more productive NBA players. Because let's not be naive. Most kids who play college sports at the big-time level, the BCS level in football, or the big-time level in the NCAA,
Oh, they're now +5 in the rebound.
As far as basketball goes,
And
you know,
rebounding is one of those
they all or
non-negotiable
most of them
things
feel in the
that
back of their
have
mind that they at
to
least have a shot to play professional ball.
But when you look at the scoreboard, you can see the correlation.
Many of them wouldn't be in college if they couldn't play football or basketball. So, you know, why not create, you know, an environment that will be, you know, more conducive to allowing them to, you know, stay in school, develop their game, and hey, if they learn something along the way, if they choose to, even better. But I think that's a whole heck of a lot better than creating this, you know, farce that they have right now, where a guy is just, you know, dropping by campus for, you know, 9 months and then it's gone. So those are some things that I would do to help fix the NBA, to get the NBA, you know, back from its broken state. I'd also do some things to help bring back the late 80s to mid 90s style of play. I would bring hand checking back into the game. I would go back to the old school illegal defense rule, get rid of zone. In the 80s and 90s, if you had a player that couldn't play defense, he better have been dang good at something else, or otherwise he didn't see the court. But now you can hide players like that. So I would go back to, you know, those rules to help bring back that, you know, old school physical style of play. You know, because I think we've sissified our sports to some degree, both in basketball and in football, where you can't touch anybody, there's no contact, and people in the NBA that go ballistic if they dive to the basket, throw themselves in front of somebody and chuck the ball at the rim, and no foul is called on them. You know, it's stupid. So, you know, those are the things that I would do. Some little things I would do to revive the NBA once again. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Anyway, talk to you all later. Peace.
Gets the bucket. Here's Arenas. And Batum kicks to Gay with the shot. A rebound by the Spurs. McDyess has got 7 rebounds in the game. Gay, he's covered by Ginobili. From about 16. Tries yet again.
Come on! You need to get the board!
The kick out to Aldridge. Over Duncan. Aldridge, no luck.
He had a defender draped all over. Not really the best shot there. Well, not the shot you hope for when it's well contested like that.
They get it back. Duncan kicks to Parker. Knocks it down from 19 feet. Parker's got 12 points in just the second half. Arenas up top, covered by Parker. Arenas passes to Gay. He passes to Oden. Shot's good.
Basketball right now.
Arenas against Parker. Here's Duncan. Money!
That bucket was absolutely huge. A defensive stop can seal the deal. That play. Yeah, nearly came up with the steal.
On deep, Gay buries the triple.
Kevin, that's what you expect from him. When the pressure's at its highest, with the game on the line, that's when he's at his best.
Here's Ginobili. A 3 off the inbound. And so the big win by Portland in a tight game. And Clark, you know, it was quite a nail-biter.
Yeah, it was tight. Their guys were able to come up with big plays down the stretch, and that's the difference.
And that about wraps it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA presented by 2K Sports.